Hello and welcome. In this new video, I will teach you the comparison of Indian economy with the world economy. This is the first unit and the third topic of the first unit. In previous topic, we saw some basic concepts and challenges of the Indian economy. Now here we learn about some indicators of the Indian economy. So let's get started. Now let's take a look of Indian economy at a glance. Salient features of the Indian economy are India's economy is rising, India's economic growth is also rising, India's economic population is also rising, though India's people's contribution in the GDP is still less compared to other developed countries. Now, what is meant by GDP? GDP is the gross domestic product, that is, the production happened in the territory of the India, in the borders of the India. So, the GDP, just remember this concept GDP because you will need this concept in your upcoming lectures also. So the factors of the Indian economy that people like you and me, businesses, production houses, GDP, these are all the factors of the Indian economy, that the indicators of the Indian economy and trends in the economy, whether our GDP is rising or falling, whether our development is rising or falling, whether our people are earning more money or less money, whether our in technology is rising or rising or falling, whether our exports are rising or falling. These are all the trends in the economy. This will be also taught to you. Now let's take a look at the world economy also. This will be also taught to you. Now let's compare Indian economy in terms of population. See here, take a look. Just let me open the highlighter. Okay, here. This is the comparison of Indian economy in terms of population with the world economy. See, here are some countries. Germany. Germany is in Europe. Okay, Peru. I think it's also in Europe. I'm not sure whether it's in Europe or Asia. It's New Zealand. New Zealand is in Australian continent. Russia. Russia is divided in Asia. Just remember this geographical divergence and Europe also. Russia is the only country which is which has its spray in two continents, that is it's in Asia and in Europe also. And then there is Japan below Russia and Europe. It's Japan. Japan is in Asia. It's Japan is also known as how what we said to Japan. Japan is rising suns country. Japan is rising suns country also. Okay, so let's leave the geography issue. Here, take a look. India's population is so higher than other countries. Okay, it's nearly about 130 crores. This is all in crores. Okay, so Germany's population is less. Peru's population is also less. New Zealand population is so less. Okay, New Zealand is the lowest populated country out of these six countries. And so Russia, then Russia is the largest country around the world according to size, but Russia's population is nearly half of the India's population. And then there is Japan's population. Japan is facing the issue of aged people. Sorry, I am writing it on a mouse just to show you. My handwriting is not that much bad, but just because I'm writing by using mouse, I'm facing these issues. Okay, so India's population is very, I mean, it's rising at a fast speed that to give you the growth rate of India's population, average annual growth rate, that it was 1980 in 1980 to 1990, India's growth rate, according to the World Bank, was 2.1%. Okay, and in 2009 to in 2000 to 2009, in these 9 years, India's population growth rate was 1.38%. If we compare ourselves with the Chinese people or the China, The China's growth rate of the population in 1990 was 1.5% growth rate. Okay, that means China is was growing, or China's population was growing at the rate of 1.5% per annum. And in 2008 or 2009, China's population was growing around 1 point, or sorry, 0.51% compared to India's growth rate of 1.38%. Okay, so it is nearly around threefold growth of India's population compared to China's population, though China is the highest and densely populated country in the world, isn't it? So it's a very tricky issue, why India's population is so increasing at a so fast rate. But though India's population is increasing, we are still facing the issues of income. We are the still middle income economy. We are still facing the poverty issues. We are still not able to transfer our economy or transfer our population from the idle population to the working population. These are the issues faced by the Indian economy. Now, let's come to the agricultural sector. Agri sector. Agri sector. Okay, agriculture is the many people say agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy, but it's a false statement. Don't ever write this in your exams also, that agriculture is the backbone of the Indian economy. No, agriculture is not the backbone of the Indian economy. Why? Because we are contributing so less amount of GDP, or so less amount of money into the GDP compared to the other sectors. Okay, industry and services. Services are still contributing 30%. Industry is still contributing nearly about 40 to 50%, and agriculture is contributing very less, 18 to 20%. Then how could be agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy, and how can you say that agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy? No, agriculture is not the backbone of Indian economy. Here I have given some data. This data is collected from the World Bank. If you want some data, then go to the World Bank's website and you will find this data there. Okay, so here I have given some data from year 2000 to 2019. This is 19 years data, and you can see here India was contributing in 2000 nearly about 22%. Okay, but in 2019 it just contributed 16%. Okay, only 16% of GDP is coming from the agricultural sector, not more than this. That means remaining how much? 80, sorry, 82%, 82% is coming from remaining two sectors. Which are they? They are services and industry. Services and industry are contributing more compared to agri sector. Okay, so let's compare our economy with the rest of the world. Let's see here economics of the United States. Here is the United States of America. You can say that America's agriculture sector is contributing so less in their GDP. Then, sir, how can you say that Indian agriculture sector is not the backbone of Indian economy, despite of contributing 16% in GDP? But, my dear students, people who are dependent on agriculture sector in United States are only 5 to 10% people. But in India, there are 50 to 60% of people are still dependent upon agriculture. So, comparing ourselves with the United States, we can say that Despite of having only 5 to 10% of people dependent upon agriculture, they are contributing very large amount out of their production in the GDP. But here it's a very contradictory and vice versa thing is happening, that despite of dependency ranging from 50 to 60%, we are contributing only 16 to 20%. This is the paradox, isn't it? So let's take a look here. Australia, the same thing is with the Australia. Their population is low, their dependency upon agriculture is low, but they are contributing more compared to their dependency. So the dependency, I will give you the new term. Okay, the new term is, this term is invented by me, Professor Saurabh Tipayale. Okay, now you can give me this credit. Sorry, not credit. You know, I'm recording lectures from morning since morning, and this tongue twisting always happens. So just don't give importance to my tongue twisters. Okay, just give you, let me give you the new term, that is dependency. Okay, this is the, my handwriting is not so bad, but just I'm using mouse, so it seems to be very bad handwriting. Okay, dependency to country. I will write only country. Contribution is very hard to write. Country, that is dependency to. Okay, let me write it. Contribution. Okay, so dependency to contribution ratio is very less in India, not in United States. मेरे दोस्तों, not in United States. इंडिया की डिपेंडेंसी बहुत ज्यादा है और कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत कम है, बट इन यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स इट्स वेरी हाई, दैट इज डिपेंडेंसी बहुत कम है, contribution बहुत ज्यादा है. So this ratio is very high in United States. Okay, so this was all about the agricultural sector. You can see again going to previous slide, you can see different countries there. Brazil also there, Canada is also there. So if the only similar factor is there, see the countries are highlighted with the green color here: Brazil, France, Germany, Israel also, see, and Australia also. These are all developed countries, okay, and these are Brazil, Canada, France, Germany. These are all countries residing in US, or sorry, in Europe and in United States. Okay, that is in North USA, and some are in South US and some are in Europe also. So Brazil is a part of European Union only. So these are the countries which has the less population. They are still contributing more compared to their population. But some countries are there, that is Pakistan. Pakistan is nothing different from India. Pakistan is worse than India. Their population is also much larger, but still they are more reliant on the agriculture only. Okay, just now let's go to the next slide. Comparison in terms of industry. See, industrial revolution in India happened in, I would say, in 1991. Real wali, not paper wali. Real wali revolution happened in 1991. Okay, 1991 में इंडिया में इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन हुआ, और इस इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन में हमने एक्सेप्ट किए कुछ रिफॉर्म्स. दे वेर एलपीजी रिफॉर्म्स. एलपीजी रिफॉर्म्स ने हमने क्या किया, that Indian economy went for the liberalization. Stands for liberalization, P stands for privatization, and G stands for globalization. So these were the reforms. By using them, Indian economy liberalized itself and accepted the other countries, companies to settle their industry in our territory, in our on our lands. Okay, so the world industrial development happened, or the world industrial revolution happened in 17th century. 17th century. Okay, sorry, ऐसे ऐसे लिखते हैं 1700. 17th century. तो वहाँ पे you must have seen or studied that the Britain was the country where industrial revolution happened, and they came to the India and they set up their industries in India. So these were about the world industrial development. Then rise of the industrialization in India and across the world. So after happening world revolution, then this country went for the industrializing the other worlds or other countries of the world. Okay, so the Indian industrial development started happening in 1950. Okay, 50, but that was not enough. That was not what? It was not enough. Okay, it was not enough. So we went for the LPG reforms in 1991, and then the current industry and its development in India, that you can see that you might have seen that the Make in India policy of the government. ओके, मेक इन इंडिया पता है ना क्या है मेक इन इंडिया? मेक इन इंडिया जो उसका जो आता है, क्या आता है उसका? लायन आता है। क्या आता है मेक इन इंडिया का सिंबल क्या है? लायन। लायन इज द नेशनल एनिमल ऑफ इंडिया। ओके, मेक इन इंडिया का लायन जो है, इट्स अ सिंबल ऑफ इंडिया। एंड द मेक इन इंडिया पॉलिसी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट इज टू बूस्ट द इंडिया's industry and the and to fetch the FDI from the foreign countries. And then there is Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. Okay, just don't write it. It's coming very bad. So Atmanirbhar Bharat is also the scheme for the local industrial development. Okay, so this was all about the industrial comparison of the India with the world. Now compare ourselves with the services sector. Oh, this is very important sector because इसी ने तो भाई अपनी लाज बचा के रखी है बहुत दिनों से। क्यों? क्योंकि सर्विसेज contributing more. Services are contributing more in India's GDP. GDP बताया ना मैंने क्या है आपको? GDP is nothing but gross domestic product. Okay, produced in the borders of India. Okay, so GDP is India's gross domestic product. Okay, so dear students, India's services sector was also liberalized in, and the real services sector growth in India started happening in 1991 only, when India went for the LPG reforms. Okay, तो तब से इंडिया में सर्विसेज सेक्टर की ग्रोथ हो रही है. India's contribution in services sector is also increasing because India's youth is especially preferring computer knowledge, computer professions, and so we are the country who is providing larger services to the world also. Now, what is my services? First, understand it. Services are the kind of things which where we do provide some kind of assistance to the world or the rest of the people. That is services in terms of computer, services in terms of health, services in terms of profession, jobs, services in terms of healthcare, services in terms of engineering. These are all the services sector. Okay, we do provide some consultancy services, some assistance to the world. Okay, now India's contribution in services sector is on the verge of rise. Okay, and because this is happening just because of digitalization in the world is happening. Okay, now world services sector growth is also rising. Now there are two countries in India, sorry, not countries, companies in India. TCS, TCS, that is Tata Consultancy Services. Okay, and Infosys पता है ना? Infosys, who is the chairman of Infosys? Narayan Murthy. Sri Narayan Murthy is the chairman of Infosys, is the founder of Infosys, sorry. And Tata Consultancy Services is the part of the Tata Group. These are the consultancy companies providing computer related services to the world. Okay, so I'm I mean to say is that India's services sector is growing, okay, growing, but India's agriculture and industrial sector is not growing at compared to services sector. Okay, so this is a tragedy. So you are expected to learn from this lecture is that how the agriculture sector is performing, how the industrial sector is performing, and how the services environment is also increasing in India. So I have given you some data. That data to was for your understanding. It didn't mean anything other than this. uh, okay, so that this was all about your lecture. If you didn't understand anything, then you can contact me on my Gmail ID. I have given my Gmail ID in my previous lecture, but to just remind you that it is saurabhdipal@kthmcollege.ac.in. Okay, It is my official Gmail ID, and you can raise your queries there. Okay, so till then, stay safe, stay healthy, take necessary precautions. Bye bye.